Greetings, friends. There are some people who believe they do not possess a soul. And that's fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. You can believe that. I think you're obviously going to suffer because you're not going to take care of something you don't acknowledge to exist. But maybe that's just how some people learn. Some people have to go through a period of suffering. But what I do find ridiculous is when these same people that believe they have no soul attempt to convince other people that they also do not have a soul. Like Richard Dawkins, the famous scientist. For these people, fundamentally, our existence is nothing more than a bag of meat, a package of neurons reacting to stimuli. At its basis, we're just reacting to external stimuli, and there's no independent agency at the core. There's nothing there. There's no independent mind, no soul, nothing like that. Just a bag of meat, a package of neurons. And it's like saying, I don't exist. Fundamentally, I, the sacred I, the independent I, oh, it's not actually there. I don't exist. And I don't exist, and neither do you. I mean, it's completely absurd. It's just completely counterintuitive nonsense that they will go about. It's one thing to believe you have no soul, but then to assume that you can convince other people that they do not exist when you do not exist. I'm a bag of meat, you're a bag of meat too. I'm a package of neurons reacting to stimuli, and so are you. Do these people not realize that it's not going to win an argument? It's not going to... Why should I believe someone who thinks he's a package of meat? A package of meat belongs in the freezer or on the barbecue. When it comes down to it, and by the way, I'm not exaggerating here. When I bring up Dawkins, I'm not exaggerating. He says in public, I saw him clearly say in one, I guess it was a lecture or a talk where he was sort of sharing the stage with some other people, and he says, quote, I'm deluding myself. Those were his exact words. I'm deluding myself. And that he was referring to this sense that he exists. Strange sensation. Oh, I exist. What a weird illusion. And he seemed, he's kind of like, maybe someone hadn't asked him that question too often, because I think he was responding to someone's question, and you see them do this kind of pause. They kind of pause, and I mean, seriously, when people try to, convince you that you don't exist, and then you just have to ask them, like, do you believe that about yourself? Do you believe you don't exist? I mean, once you get past that, sometimes they can't even give you a straight answer. They might not have considered that. I think some of these people, they haven't fully grasped the significance of not having a soul, okay? A soul, okay? That soul is not something you believe in, okay? I don't know how we ever got that conception. It is not some belief. It is what you are. It is the essence of what you are. It may be energetic. It may be, not something you can tangibly touch, but it's what you are. It's your feelings. It's so much beyond neuropeptides. But anyways, I'm not arguing for the soul here. You can believe that there's no soul. That's fine. I'm just saying it's ridiculous to say that you don't exist and then expect that you can use that to tell other people that they also don't exist. The significance of not having a soul. These people, a lot of them haven't fully considered it because they get up in the morning, okay? If you didn't have a fucking soul, why would you get up in the morning? Why wouldn't you just lay in bed? There would be no reason to get out of bed. Why would you sustain your body? There would be absolutely no purpose to existence. You're a bag of meat. You're just existing to pass on your genes. It's completely and utterly pathetic. But no, of course you live your life. Of course you do that. Not because you're reacting to stimuli, because you have an essence. You are someone. You exist. You have friends. You discuss with other people. You get into discussions. You have conversations with people. Your independent mind will show. It comes out. There is some essence there. It's going to show, and into any discussion. And it's like so counterintuitive. When you're getting into a discussion with someone, you're getting a sense of that person's personality, that unique pattern makes them who they are. And then yet they're claiming they don't exist. It's the most deluded thing. And when Dawkins is referring to him being deluded, that he's deluding himself, in a way he is deluding himself. But the delusion is not that he exists. The delusion is that he somehow doesn't exist. I think most sane people would see that. It's a disease, this idea that spread in the last century that we don't exist, that we're just bags of meat. So, yeah, I mean, this is not to be confused with universal consciousness. This is not to be confused with, God or with the veil. I mean, people throughout history who have been able to train their consciousness, expand their consciousness. Sure, the soul has no clear boundary. It's just a pattern, okay? So yeah, you might have some argument for saying, oh, you can't pinpoint it down. It's just a pattern. It doesn't really exist. But I mean, look, that's like saying, like if you're attain universal consciousness, that's great. But when someone does that, that's not having no soul, that's expanding the soul. Then the whole universe is your soul. There's certainly still a soul there. It's just a greater soul, of which your individual soul is a part. But it is a unique pattern. It's a unique signature in that massive universe that, we may call God or the Great Spirit. So you're part of that. So, that's not saying that there is no soul. It's that there's so much greater souls and a bigger soul that we are part of. But your soul is divine. It exists for a purpose, to get things done in this life, on this earth, for whatever reason you're here. So that universal consciousness, that's like becoming conscious of the whole forest. But that's not to say that the trees don't exist, because you're conscious of the whole forest. Now there are no trees. The trees don't exist. Of course the trees exist. Just like the individual droplets of rain exist in the rain cloud, or however you want to take the metaphor. So that's fine. You can believe you don't have a soul. I don't have a problem with it. I do think you are going to suffer for some time, but that's fine. You can believe, but just don't expect you can go about having a discussion with someone and be taken seriously if you are claiming to be nothing more than a bag of meat, a package of neurons, and not to exist. It's completely counterintuitive nonsense. And that's all I have to say for now. Hasta luego, amigos.